So, something very interesting is happening to the live music scene right now in some parts of the Ozarks because it's been brought to some of the smaller venues' attention that they did not have proper licensing to play music that was cover songs. And I get this because the artists who created those songs have the right to be compensated for their music and their art being played, of course. But while places like Memphis and, Nashville have the type of revenue coming in to pay these fees, ASCAP and BMI, so you're supposed to pay a monthly fee. And apparently, it's a couple $100s or so a month just so you can have people come in and play live music. And that may not be much if you are in a bigger, busier place, but a lot of these little places in the Ozarks are much smaller and bringing in probably a lot less money to be paying these large fees to have people play the live music. Needless to say, some of the places, the venues that would normally have live music, have kind of paused it or scaled back until they figure out what to do about the licensing situation. While at first this sounds like a terribly sad story for people that love live music, but what if it's only just the beginning? Because what is really being triggered here is that artists that have been taking notes and writing little songs in the back of the kitchen or wherever, they can pull out their live music and everyone's going to welcome it, because we want music. So we're going to hear from Blue Still, who is a local musician out of Yellville. He has been a professional musician and songwriter most of his life, and he's played all over. He's out of San Francisco, and then he was 20 years working in New Orleans as a musician down there. So now he lives in Yellville, and let's talk to him about his point of view on it. And what do you think about, how do you think this new, or I don't know if that's the right word, new,
maybe
like
a temporary silence at the little venues isn't really
that's been around.
It's a tough thing
Maybe
because
it's
I am a
empty
songwriter, and
right before
I
the
have to
next
say,
great
like a lot
Ozark
of things,
music
you
scene
can look at it
pops
fairly,
off.
you have to look at both sides.
Not because somebody
Okay,
brought
so
Nashville
one
here.
side is,
Maybe it
if I
begins
write
for
a
a
song
moment
and
because
then,
we couldn't
let's say
keep
somebody
playing
else just copies
everybody
it, puts
else's
on the
song.
radio, makes
So go
$4
find
million,
your own song and let us all hear it.
Well, they stole
I'm
my
Angelia,
song.
the Ozark
Something that I
Mystic, coming
took
at
some
you
time.
about the music.
To be a songwriter,
Thanks for watching.
you have to make a lot of sacrifices. So to have the time and inclination to do that, it's not like, oh, well, it just happens magically. So songwriters are entitled to be
First you play music
people use
for
their
hours.
song.
Then if there's any time left after that,
But
then you get to the honey-do list of like
the
fixing.
problem with BMI and
Making sure the door
ASCAP,
shut.
those agencies
You know,
that
things like that, and that we have running
collect
water.
money.
First you play
People's
music,
songs are being
and when I'm really centered, that's what I
is,
do.
very,
Get up,
very
play,
little
and then
actually
put it
gets
around.
back to lesser known songwriters. That's what I've heard, and I'm sure it's true. And so then they're just making it very difficult for musicians because most musicians don't write songs. 90%, 95% don't write their own songs. So they know all these covers, and then they want to go out and perform, and now they can't because ASCAP has come to the club and said, well, you can't play this unless you pay us $200-300 a month, to collect the money. And where does that money go? Very little actually goes back to the musicians. That's what I've heard, and I'm sure it's true. So in a way, it's like a lot of things in America, it's become corrupt.
Right.
So if it actually did get back to the musicians that wrote it, well, then I might feel differently about it. But the fact that it's not, and then it's making it so difficult for all the musicians to play in these little clubs because the little places can't afford to pay that much every month. It creates a problem for the great mass of musicians.
Well, you as a songwriter, how can people get a hold of you if they want you to come play music?
479-226-2215.
Okay.
Yeah, and just ask for Blue.
And honestly, there is another giant songbook behind us, and that is the past, the music and songs from the past. A lot of times copyrights don't last forever, and so you can go and pick out the old songs from, 100 years ago and jazz them up, make them your own, the Ozark way. Imagine young Ozark musicians digging backwards and pulling out old folk ballads and hymnal songs and jazzing them up, songs carried through families. Suddenly, we would have something much different than the same 20 songs being played at every venue every time. We might begin hearing what this place actually sounds like, because the Ozarks has always made music this way. People would take what they inherited and add a little bit about where they were from. And then the next person would take it and add a little bit about where they were from. And it just got handed down. Maybe a temporary silence at the little venues isn't really a silence at all. Maybe it's an empty page right before the next great Ozark music scene pops off. Not because somebody brought Nashville here. Maybe it begins for a moment because we couldn't keep playing everybody else's song. So go find your own song and let us all hear it. I'm Angelia, the Ozark Mystic, coming at you about the music scene. Thanks for watching.